All right, oh, yes, we are live. Welcome back. It's yours truly, Richard Barricott in Las Vegas. Hey, look at the chat window. You are going to see a contributor link at top of that chat window. It's a Zoom contributor list for anybody who's interested in hopping onto the live. This is by invitation only. If you're interested in hopping on to opine on certain topics, feel free to use that link. And I'm going to get a notification here at the back end to accept you so you can join me live. Welcome. I really do appreciate you. It's Friday, January 16th, 2026. Already mid-month. It's as if what? New Year's was just what, 2 weeks ago? Times, doesn't it seem as if things are going by fast? The older you get, I'm milking up because the doctor said that I need to boost my vitamin D. So I got to milk up, drinking whole milk, grade A whole milk. So today, multiple topics to talk about. Multiple topics to talk about. Walmart exports into Canada and Mexico. We're going to talk about that. And then we are going to cross over the Atlantic to Nigeria and talk about what's happening in the Nigerian market. And then we're going to cross back over to the US side and look at some mergers and acquisitions. You know, I love mergers and acquisitions. I want to know who's buying whom and why. I want to follow the money. Show me the money, Rich. Trying to keep all this money to yourself. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to, Einstein said that imagination is stronger than knowledge. I'm trying to help my audience break wide open their imagination. Imagination is where it's at. It did say that what you can conceive, you can achieve. But man, gotta follow the money, gotta follow the capital. It's all about control now, guys. Before, it used to be adoption, whoever can adopt, or whoever. It's not again about who starts first. That's not, it's not what it's about anymore. You know, they say pioneers get arrows on their backs. Look that quote up. Pioneers get arrows on their backs. It's all about control. That's what the next 10 years is looking like. Who can control what? Platform control, government control, capital control, market entry control. On the first topic on Walmart's exports into the Canadian and Mexican market. You guys know that Amazon has been leading this space for the past 10 years, but Walmart is chipping at them. Walmart is slowly making their presence felt in the global e-commerce space. It's good to have competition. I think Amazon should be worried. They are still number one in e-commerce. They've kind of pretty much solved the Canada-Mexico markets now, but Walmart is making an impact in that space. Walmart is making an impact in that space. We're going to look at what they are doing right now in that space. So they are expanding their offerings to the Canadian consumer market as well as the Mexico consumer market. They're basically taking over exports for shoppers and inventory suppliers like sellers on Walmart. Like we sell on Walmart as well as Amazon. Those are the top two marketplaces that you can find in Bericet product. Maybe I'll open up the Walmart website and type in our product. So if you are sitting in Canada watching this, so if you're a Nigerian in Mexico watching this, you have options now. Actually, you have three options. You can shop on our website and Bericet.com shop, or you can shop on our Walmart store. You can shop at our Amazon store if you are in Mexico or Canada and have products, quality Nigerian products delivered to you. So this Walmart export is launching only for WFS sellers. So WFS means Walmart fulfillment sellers. This is when sellers like myself or product owners like myself send products directly to Walmart for fulfillment within the continental 48 states. You can add Hawaii there too, and also Alaska there. Let's just say within the United States. That's what WFS is. There's also another option called Merchant Fulfill. This is where the brand owner fulfills their own orders. So, what is Walmart doing here? Is it really about helping sellers reach Canada and Mexico? That is not what it's about. It's about reducing friction in cross-border commerce. So Walmart is going to absorb the entire buying process into its platform, just like what Amazon is doing right now. So they're automatically enrolling Walmart Fulfillment Services inventory into international markets. So global trade is no longer a merchant's capability, it's becoming a platform primitive. But unfortunately, for those who are dependent, and if you're a seller, it's okay to sell on Walmart and Amazon, but it's also very important for you to also have your own platform. Some of the top two platforms are what I use on the Bericet platform shop. We are we use WooCommerce, but there's also other platforms out there like Wix and Shopify. It just really depends. I think for Reach, though, you want to also list and send your inventory to third-party marketplaces like Walmart and Amazon, just so you can reach their audience. But it's also of critical importance to also have your own website or your own shopping page so you can control the data of the people who buy from you. Just keep in mind, if you do that, you have to be able to handle exports on your own, which is really not that bad, especially if it's within the North American, the Western Hemisphere. It's not that bad. When you start shipping items into like Europe and Asia, it becomes a little bit more complex because of strict import um, regulations in those markets. But Canada and Mexico, they are neighbors. They are next door neighbors of the United States. Walmart wants a piece of that. So everything from the packaging and the picking and the labeling is going to be done by Walmart on behalf of sellers, quote unquote. inventory suppliers. Let's call a spade a spade. That's who we are. When you go outside of your own shopping platform, this is all about platforming. You are essentially, or we are essentially, inventory suppliers to Walmart. There's nothing wrong with that. We can sell more, we can reach more people, we can get our brands and our products out there to sellers outside of the United States. But unfortunately, we don't own the data. We don't know who the people are. We can't retarget to them. We can't remarket to them. These are all Walmart customers, but it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I was on an airplane. I don't know where I was traveling to. I sat beside somebody who asked me what I did for a living. I said, hey, I'm a brand owner. We import products from Nigeria. We process crayfish from Nigeria. We import them into the United States and we sell to US consumers. And the guy asked me, this was in the very early stages. Do you have your own website? I said, I do, but I'm not really prioritizing it right now. I'm focused more on, at that time, it was just Amazon that we were selling on. Now we've since expanded from Amazon to Walmart. And now we have our own freestanding shop on WooCommerce, bereket.com/shop. And he basically told me, hey, you gotta, those platforms are great, but you gotta think about building your own shopping ecosystem. So then that way you can control the customer data and you can keep the products. Actually, the profit margin is a lot higher when you run your own show. So we did this about a year ago. That's when we launched our own website, our own shopping website, bereket.com/shop. The person who built that site for us is based in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. So yes, guys, Nigeria has people with technical and website development know-how. So remember what I said, it's all about the control. The people who control these platforms are going to win, especially in the e-commerce space. Still sell on, talking about operators, from an operator standpoint, as a brand owner, still important for you if you want to reach a wider audience. But you shouldn't optimize exclusively for third-party marketplaces, though, like Walmart and Amazon. You don't optimize exclusively for those. As you are building your base, as you are building your presence on this site, it's also important for you to also build your own platform where you're not going to be able to get as much traffic to it because this is what these guys do. The Walmarts and the Amazons of the world, they specialize in data collection. They have the technology to be able to know and control the buying experience. Those operating on the smaller scale may not have that opportunity, but go where the money is, go where the dance is. A lot of Chinese manufacturers now have literally everyone is hedging on Walmart and Amazon. These guys are good at what they do. They've been around longer than me and you. Walmart just recently partnered with OpenAI, ChatGPT, and Google's Gemini to be able to offer a more seamless shopping experience for people. So you want to be, I mean, I like Walmart. I'm not going to lie to you. Friendly disclaimer, I own Walmart shares. Walmart's success is my success. I own Walmart shares. It's a great company. It's a tech company. And right now they're moving more into building everything around artificial intelligence. So they are smart. They know that AI is everywhere right now. You can't move or breathe or interact anymore without touching one aspect or another of artificial intelligence. So Walmart Exports has launched. Could we really call it an export system knowing that Canada and Mexico? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's still cross-border. For operators, it's a good thing. For shoppers, you can sit conveniently right now in the provinces of Canada. Talking about Walmart. Anyway, I wouldn't bore you with the text message and an email I just got from them. But you can sit comfortably at home in any province in Canada and rest assured that you can buy goods on Walmart and these guys are good, they're fast. Naturally, we default to Amazon though. Like when I'm buying something online, I tend to kind of default to Amazon. But right behind it, on the tail end of that, is Walmart. So those are the only two players right now in that space. I don't know who Amazon is partnering with currently when it comes to AI infrastructure, but Walmart is making their presence felt by teaming up with OpenAI and what do you call it? OpenAI and Google Gemini. So this article is on the Berricat.com website. Click on the insights. Um, when you visit the site, click on the insights tab there. It's going to take you through our insights across enterprise markets in the United States and Nigeria. Now, I said we're going to cross over. Let's go and see what Nigeria is about. This actually came up yesterday, sent to me by one of our loyal viewers, CJ in Canada. Now we're going to sit on this for a second. I'm actually very excited to talk about this particular topic. This is from the United States Embassy and Consulate in Nigeria. It's their website. This was yesterday's news, though. The U.S. Embassy reopens newly redesigned American Center, showcasing American excellence and U.S.-Nigeria partnership. Oh, so this is circulating across the Nigerian media. Nigeria, we like celebratory content. We like celebratory news. With all due respect, I'm sitting in the United States. I love the United States of America. This is my principal residence. I'm a naturalized US citizen by way of Lagos, Nigeria. Can't ever get me to say anything bad about the United States at all. Can't get me to say anything bad about the United States. See, this is also linked to what I talked about control. It's like, what do you see when you see this title? When you see the US Embassy reopens newly redesigned American Center, showcasing American excellence and US Nigeria partnership, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? I see things a little bit differently. You see, this is what I call peacocking when they show you what they want you to see. But at the behind it all, what is really important? This is nothing more than a remodel project. It's not as if the center was closed as a result of some sort of major issue. That wasn't why the center was closed. This was a maintenance project. They moved some chairs around. They moved some tables around. Maybe they updated from, let's say, metal chairs to wooden chairs, painted some murals, Kind of like the murals that you see there. You see, it's a Chris Rock mural. There's a Harrison Ford. That was a guy with that star on his chest. He's a Captain America, of course, a huge representation of United States capitalism. There's a US SEAL, Stevie Wonder. There's a gymnast there. Then there's an actor in the field. Taylor Swift actually made the mural as well as Bruce Lee. The person next to Bruce Lee, I don't know who that is. Okay, and then Richard M. Mills, the current ambassador of Nigeria, is the one that cuts the ribbon, opening up the American Center reopening in Abuja. And obviously, this is what major news in the country. But here's what's happening. And then it's a big deal. Okay, we've painted the place, we've put up a new mural, we are showing what America is about. And then we are going to open it up and look at the photo up there. Photo up. Just gonna bring some Nigerians. Maybe they'll bring a couple of podcasters and bloggers there to be able to quote unquote cover this. You see, guys, this is all noise. I love what them. You see, America has to focus on what's in the best interest of America. But here is the missing piece. This is what really matters. What is Nigeria doing in terms of developing its own infrastructure for Nigerians? You see, this is an embassy project. It's no different from, let's say, the Canadian embassy in Nigeria, moving a couple of chairs and moving a couple of tables and saying, hey, we have a Canada center here in Nigeria, or even a Russian embassy. These are embassy driven projects. Where is that partnership? I don't really see that partnership. It's not as if, you see, America does what America does best. America controls infrastructure. America controls the narrative. America controls the story. America controls the environment. Yes, this was done on Nigerian soil, but this is an American center, not a Nigerian center. This is built by the United States for the United States interest. You know, what would have been exciting to me would have been if America would have gone and opened up a factory or something, or maybe even a data center or something. But why should America even have to do that? That's Nigeria's responsibility. What would have been exciting to me, what would have got me going, would have been Nigeria opening up its own center of excellence, built by the blood, sweat, and tears of the Nigerian people for the Nigerian people. You know, we talked about what's going on right now in immigration. Nigerians running away. So what's going to happen now? Look at this. Scroll back up. So you have all of these people paraded in this photo up. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. So they go home and then they're going to return the next day to the American center that Nigeria does not own. Guys, the future, honestly, it's about ownership and control. Walk with me. Walk with me. It's about ownership and control. You see, when you control the building, you control the kitchen. When you control the kitchen, you control what goes inside the soup. This is what America does best. You see, the blueprint is there. The blueprint is there. The US and the Western world has been giving Nigeria blueprints for what? Decades after decades after decades. The writing is on the wall. Are we just refusing to see, or are we? It's not as if we are refusing to see the writing on the wall. We do see the writing on the wall, guys. We actually read the writing on the wall, but we are not executing. Nigeria has an execution problem. You see, we are dreamers. We're one of the biggest dreamers in the world. We lack execution problem. Back home, because overseas Nigerians in the United States, majority of them are successful because remember, it's an environment that allows them to execute. We have got to adopt an execution mentality in Nigeria. We are very good at talking. We are the giant of Africa. Nigeria has the largest GDP in the African continent. We are this, we are that, we are the most populous. We have the world's richest, the Africa's richest man is a Nigerian. Nigeria has the largest single train oil and gas refinery on its soil in Dangote refinery. Do you know what separates Dangote from others? Dangote executes. He executes his imagination. That's what he does. He executes his imagination. I gave you guys this analogy yesterday about Nigeria is on your mark, get set, and when it comes time to say go, nobody pulls the trigger on that, that gun, that signal that just says go. And even if someone says go, most people, because you have been at the on your mark, get set position for so long, you are so paralyzed, you can't even make a move. This is great for the United States of America, but I just don't see how it benefits Nigerians at all. Because here's the thing, we don't own it. You are not going to be able to shape the sort of benefits that this program is aiming to produce. Nigerians can't shape it. At the end of the day, even if they consult with Nigerians, the United States Embassy consults with Nigerians on certain programs, guess who makes the final decision? The United States. The owner now is the one who makes the final decision. The owner of the house now. Okay, I hear everything that you have to say. Okay, this sounds good. That sounds good. At the end of the day, the decision is mine. That's what this is all about. This isn't something that Nigerians, I mean, US, we have great relationships with the United States. We should celebrate with the US. We should congratulate the US. Great embassy project. This was a remodeling project that should not even have made, I don't think it should have made national news. Here I am talking about it. I'm talking about it because I want to give you guys some context. We are paying attention to the wrong things. We are paying attention to the noise. The information is there. The information is in front of us. They're doing it left and right. CJ and I talked about this. She's a Nigerian in the diaspora based in Canada. Very passionate about Nigeria. Wants to go to Nigeria and see what she can do, but there's no place for her to get the information that she needs to do what she wants to do. I think we're at a point right now in Nigeria where every state should probably have a version of the American center in that state. That this is really what it is. Every state, in my opinion, should have some sort of a Nigerian version of this American center that we are seeing. So Nigerians can go and get up-to-date information on what is happening in the states. I know that they have this so-called one state, one product initiative that they're trying to do. But heavens forbid, there's nowhere for you to go and get that information. Good morning, guys. If you're watching for the first time, welcome. Sure to like, share, and comment. Subscribe too. We are about 21,000 subscribers right now globally. And I love doing this. I enjoy having this conversation with you guys for the world because technology has come a long way. When I was coming up, there wasn't this. I wish I came up in my 20s. I wish what's happening today happened when I was in my 20s in terms of technology access, internet access, podcasters talking about real stuff. Kudos to all the entertainment podcasters out there that are entertaining in one way or the other, but that's not really my thing. I like information podcasts. I like information content. If I entertain you a little bit here and there, that's all fine and dandy. But we need to start having these sort of conversations. Because believe you me, they are watching and they are listening. Whether they take action or not is an entirely different thing. So let's go over. Said enough. Let's just go over and read this and see what's going on. I'm looking for signals. I'm not looking for noise. U.S. Embassy in Abuja has officially reopened the AC, the American Center, the Embassy Chancery, with a ceremony celebrating. So, guys, it's not the U.S. Embassy that's reopening. Oh, it's this center within the U.S. Embassy that's reopening. The United States Embassy in Abuja never closed. It was this particular building within the embassy. So, what they're talking about. Just newly redesigned. Okay, not really excited about that. Redesign about what? Okay, whatever. What is the objective? Let's see what the objective is. Let's see what the actual outcome is. What are they looking to gain here? It says here, aimed at expanding educational, cultural, and professional opportunities for Nigerians of all ages. So let's dissect and interpret that line for a second. There's so many issues with that line. Why does the United States Embassy have to be the ones building the center? Why can't Nigeria, the Nigerian government, build this independently of the United States Embassy? You see, another thing too is the educational, and I know this is just an article, but what is the specificity of those educational programs? Nigeria just seems to be educational. Everything is educational, educational, educational. What about construction of the next generation AI data centers? Maybe these educational programs, can it be a future focused, future centric, future proof programs that has to do with artificial intelligence? Or are they teaching people how to be mechanics and carpenters, medieval skill sets? You see, the United States writes and they write the script and they direct the movie using Nigerian actors. Is what this seems like. You know, actor just comes. The director says, "Stand here, read your lines." Then when the director is done, director says cut, actor goes on. The director spends the next year or two developing the movie. And in some cases, the director might even feature the actor in the movie or cut the actor's scene altogether. Nigeria is not writing its own movie. Nigeria is not directing its own movie. Nigeria is not developing its own script. That's the problem. That's the problem. Look at this line with the goal of providing information about the United States. What about Nigeria developing their own information center with the goal of providing information about Nigeria? Maybe put together a tour, take Nigerians on a tour to show Nigerians where the Nigerian resources and mineral resources are so we can start imagining if we have a large deposit of copper, if we have a large deposit of lithium, we can start imagining how Nigeria can turn those raw materials and sell our lithium minerals to a company like Tesla to develop their car batteries. Or we can sell our lithium minerals to China to develop their car battery, or maybe even build a lithium car battery. I'm just using lithium as an example. Factory within Nigeria, so we don't have to export the raw materials outside the country. That's how you develop a nation. So what do they do? So what does America do here in this case with this center? America brings in the best and finest Nigerians. They train them and then they export those people out to come develop the American economy. Why Nigeria um, remains a prisoner to migration. So it says networking with US exchange programs, alumni, and professional skills building. Speaking at the ceremony, US Ambassador to Nigeria, Rich Mills, emphasized the role of the American Center and American Spaces. You see, where's Nigeria's center and Nigeria's spaces? We need that. More broadly in fostering opportunity and connection. Who does this benefit the most? Do you think this benefits Nigerians the most or benefits the United States the most? Hey, let me tell you something. I love the United States of America. I wouldn't be who I am today without the United States of America. Great country. Can't get me to say anything negative about the US at all. But what I'm trying to show is the blueprint, is what I'm trying to show. You see, they've given us the information. The information is right there. We are still building flyovers. We are still pitching government residential projects. The world is going left. All the capital of the world is going left. Nigeria is going right. So today we are proud to reopen. What kills me the most is when they reopen like that and then they parade Nigerians for a photo op. But no one is really asking the right questions. When was the last American factory built in Nigeria? I know that the Chinese are in that space right now. Why is the Chinese even building? Why can't Nigeria? Why can't we get into that future-proof infrastructural development mindset? These are the questions that we need to be asking those policymakers, the people who are making all of these moves. These are the questions we ought to be asking them. So today we are proud to reopen the American Center as a space that celebrates American excellence. See what I'm saying? Celebrate American excellence. This is all about America. And why shouldn't it be all about America? It's their money. It's their money. This is all US. This has US written all over it. Yes. Celebrate, break bread, enjoy, celebrate the occasion. But we can't continue making this the norm in the country. So the Chinese comes, they open a Chinese center, and Nigerians go and celebrate and take pictures. US opens a US center for US. The Nigerians go and celebrate uh, the ceremony. The UK comes, they open a center for the UK people. Nigeria goes and celebrates. Why can't we flip that around? Nigeria needs to build its own infrastructures and centers and then invite the Chinese in, invite the Americans in, invite the UK in to celebrate us. Instead of it always being the other way around. So what? These people now, they're going to, okay, they came in, they'll give them some what, light refreshments. Maybe they'll give them some jollof rice and stew and stuff like that. They'll send them on their merry way to return the next day and continue to be indebted. Look at them, pictured up, smiling. Man, there is an insatiable appetite right now, guys, for something to do in Nigeria. But people are just, they don't have the information. An insatiable appetite right now. Nigerians in the diaspora, they have an insatiable appetite for Nigeria. But we don't have a center to go to. We don't have a center to go to. You enter Lagos today, there's no center for you to go to for the diaspora. You enter Uyo Akwa Ibom today, where I'm from, there's no center to go to for the diaspora. Even if it just means a place, a modern place for me to just go and sit down and pay to use the internet or just pay to kind of just hang out. There's none. Everyone, it's like everybody on their own now. That's what it is. Everybody on their own through educational advising, entrepreneurship training, and digital literacy systems. I would like to see specifics, though. Wouldn't you guys like? Isn't entrepreneurship too broad? Entrepreneurship training too broad? Isn't what? Digital literacy programs too broad for you? You see, people are condensing and consolidating now. Fragmentation isn't going to get you anywhere. People want specifics. In enterprise, that's what's happening right now. You see a lot of these organizations are starting to partner up because OpenAI needs Walmart shoppers' data. Walmart needs OpenAI's AI expertise. Same with Gemini. They are all partnering up, and we're going to get to that when we get to the mergers and acquisition segment of the program today. Everyone is starting to partner up, and everyone is becoming more and more specifics on their outcomes. Listen, I was reading an article yesterday in the Wall Street Journal, which we're gonna get actually. We're gonna get to that article. Wait, maybe I'll show the article or not. But the The CEO of Citigroup, it's a banking organization, they are laying people off left and right. One of our reasons was, you know what? Effort and intent is no longer what we are looking for in workers. The CEO of Citigroup said that 20,000 people will be laid off this year at Citigroup. Effort and intention is no longer a requirement. You know what they're looking for? They're looking for results. Now you are judged not on your behavior, not on your attitude, not on your efforts, not on... Now you are judged based on results. Obviously, you want to be nice about it. You still want to be a professional in whatever line of work you're in. But organizations of the future are looking for one thing and one thing alone. They're looking for outcomes. They're looking for outcomes. They're looking for results. You see, same thing. Nigerians abroad are looking for results. We're tired of the stories. We're looking for outcomes. In order for you to get results, you have to be very specific about what you're offering, and you have to be very specific about what you are doing. Hello. Golly, this is good. So these things are too broad, but unfortunately, because we are not writing our own story, it's not as if Nigeria is going to go and say, "This is what we want you to teach, and that's what we want. This is what we want. That's what we want." The United States makes that final decisions. Nigeria's now all Nigeria can do is consult. Am I lying? Welcome, 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 man. You guys are wonderful. Let's see what's happening. Oh man. Like, share, and comment. Active Dodger, what's up? Active Dodger said it's a bridge between US and Nigeria, Nigerian cultural exchange. It focuses on students, entrepreneurs, and community leaders. The question is whether there is a Nigerian center within the Nigerian embassy. You mean within the Nigerian embassy in the US? That's a good question. But even that, you see what's going on with the passport delays and stuff. And I know that doesn't have anything to do with what you said. But for me, I'm speaking most, a good point, by the way, Active Dodger, but I'm speaking more about just having a Nigerian center within Nigeria itself. You know, in some sort of building, government building is what I'm talking about. Because it's a lot easier for us to do it that way as opposed to doing it in the United States. Okay, how many embassies are in the United States? Nigerian embassies are in the United States. You have one in Atlanta, and then I think there's one in New York. Is there a Nigerian embassy in LA? I'm not sure. But you're just gonna walk into a Nigerian embassy asking for a Nigerian center within the embassy in the US. I'm talking about something. Every state has, I can speak for Akwa Ibom. I don't know about Lagos. But they have a government federal secretariat. I'm talking about putting one of those centers within that government secretariat building. So once Nigerians abroad, like me, you, Active Dodger, CJ, once you touch down in Nigeria, that is if you are going for enterprise. If you're just going to have fun, it's different. But just knowing that such a place exists, once you touch down and you settle in, maybe you just check in, even if it's an hour, to see what's going on and to see if there's something that you're missing or if there's a certain thing that you should be paying attention to. That is what we are talking about. So then that way we can start writing our own stories. Oh, here is a program for Nigerians in diaspora launched by this organization and that organization. Tell me how many people won't opt into that. You see, the American center within the US Embassy in Nigeria favors America more than it favors Nigerians. Now, access. How do you access the center? Do you just walk into the American embassy? Like, I don't, is there, how? How does the normal Nigerian access this center for information, for entrepreneurship training? How? Are they marketing this to Nigerians? If so, how are they doing it? The individuals depicted on this mural embody the values of hard work, determination, and perseverance. These are hallmarks of American achievements, but they're also qualities we see every day in Nigerian youth. Let's look at this. Okay, so you're going to put Chris Rock there. What about Martin Luther King? Why isn't Martin Luther King on that mural? Chris Rock is a comedian. Why isn't what do you call it? I wouldn't say an athlete. There's more to life than being an athlete or an entertainer. I suppose you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Because even if you were to swap Chris Rock's image with Martin Luther King, there are some people out there that are going to say, okay, well, but does this read, again, I'm looking at it, is this more of an art center? If it's an art center, then it kind of makes sense, though, for them to have Chris Rock. He's mostly artist driven, though. So you see Chris, the comedian, actor, you see Harrison Ford. There's a guy with so is this like an arts active dojo? It's probably more of like an arts thing where they teach maybe filmmaking, television production, painting and things like that. Is this what it's about? Then it would make sense, but just looking at it as an American center showcasing American excellence. And then on the mural, based on what Ambassador Mills said, well, maybe it could just be more. I mean, more than that. But there's only so much real estate on this mural, though. They got to feature who they got to feature. I wonder how they came up with Chris Rock. When was the last time Chris Rock has been to Nigeria? When was the last time Harrison Ford? I can understand if these are the people that have some sort of link for Africa, but I don't recall ever hearing about Chris Rock visiting Nigeria or Harrison Ford visiting Nigeria. Even Taylor Swift visiting Nigeria, Stevie Wonder visit. I don't recall that. So the mural doesn't match. There's no direct correlation with the people featured in this mural to Nigeria. Also speaking during the ceremony, reopening ceremony, Country Republic Diplomacy Counselor Liam McManus stated that, yes, I meant in the US, I ran out of space. No worry, Captain America is on it, yes. So like I'm saying, is this more of an arts thing? You see, the Nigerian center within the Nigerian embassy in the US or even Canada, or it's not going to work. Active Dodger, when was the last time you went to a Nigerian embassy? I went in 2020 when I went to get my entry certificate to Nigeria because my passport had expired. And I just needed something because I didn't want to be bothered or stressed. So I flew. It was a day trip, guys. I flew to Atlanta that morning. I caught the first flight out of Vegas to Atlanta. From the airport, I went straight to the Nigerian embassy in ATL and I stayed in line for almost 5 hours. Mind you, I had a plane to catch. I was literally Vegas to ATL, ATL airport to embassy, embassy back to the airport and back home. It was difficult. Customer service. I just thought Nigeria customer service was just Nigeria based. It extends to Nigerian embassy in the United States. The way they treated people, they left people out there. And I went around what October of that year. So how are you going to access? It's inaccessible. You can't. That is why something like this needs to be done outside of the embassy. And then you have modules for technology. You have modules for STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. You have a module for that. You should also have a module for art. I'm not saying don't have a module for art, but art is not really a future centric thing for me, to be honest with you. Because I have a arts background. I majored in film production from California State University in Northridge. If I had to do it all over again, there was no AI back then. But if I had to do it all over again, I would have probably majored in computer science or something. But again, let me not beat myself up too much. I'm still using some skills that I learned in film production to be able to be on camera and speak and communicate and imagine, because it's all about imagination. Uh, the underlying issue that I see here is no jab at what's happening, no jab about what the United States Embassy did. The underlying issue that I'm seeing here is we just don't have our own. If you don't have your own, you're not going to be able to tell your own story. What else? So McManus said American spaces are the heart of our commitment to bridge building, adding that these spaces offer a welcoming environment where people can access reliable inf. See what I'm saying? Nigeria needs its own center and hub for reliable information. Develop new skills and engage in open dialogue. By fostering connections and supporting lifelong learning, American spaces empower individuals and strengthen the bonds between our nations. Okay, thank you, America, for continuing to develop Nigerian minds. But what I want is for Nigeria to start developing Nigerian minds. The future is all about control and mind share. Nigeria needs to develop Nigerian minds. MINDS. We can't keep depending on others to do that for us. While I commend the US for reopening this remodeled building and this quote unquote space within the embassy that benefits and favors the United States capitalism culture, all I am asking is for Nigeria to step up to the plate and do their part in helping to build and develop Nigeria. So with that said, let's transition to the next topic of the session. We're going to look into Nigeria UAE exports. The Nigeria United Arab Emirates just struck a deal that will give exporters gateway to global markets, said the minister of whom? Minister of UAE. So it says there, Nigeria and the UAE signed a trade agreement to support the drive for green investment, higher non-oil exports, and long-term economic growth. So let's see what this partnership is all about. Nigeria, UAE. What are we exporting to UAE? So before we go into this, is it more of the United Arab Emirates exporting UAE products and services to Nigeria, or is it Nigeria exporting Nigerian products? No. How many products do we have to begin with? To the UAE. Who benefits more? Who does this deal? Who does this deal favor? You gotta love looking at our president, Bola. Let me scroll down here. You see, guys, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at my phone and I'm looking at my 15-inch screen TV. I love this. Oh, photo op of BAT himself, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, shaking hands with the minister of who's that, Jumoke? So let's go ahead and dissect this. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, Jumoke Oduwole, says Nigeria's trade agreements with the UAE will provide local exporters with a strategic hub to access global markets, particularly across the Gulf and beyond. All right, all right. Oduwole stated this on Thursday while speaking as a guest on channels. There's a little slight delay. So she appeared on channels, television, Politics Today, following the signing of a comprehensive economic partnership agreement between Nigeria and the UAE. According to the minister, the agreement allows over 7,000 Nigerian product lines to enter the UAE market duty free. Didn't we already have that duty free with AGOA in the United States? What happened? We allowed it to expire at least. See, this is all about control again. Because it's the United States that has the final say about AGOA. AGOA expired on September 30th. It's been what? 3 months, 4 months now? Wow. Although they gave eligible African countries, Nigeria is an eligible AGOA beneficiary, another year. So they kicked the can down another year. So this isn't anything new. The only difference between this deal and the United States AGOA African Trade and Growth, AGOA, African Growth and Opportunity Act. It's just geography that changed now. Because Nigeria, we couldn't even really, majority of Nigerian exporters didn't even know that AGOA existed. So what's going to change now? Is it because it's with the UAE that things are going to change? Most Nigerian exporters, I'll probably say 80%, 8 out of 10 Nigerian exporters didn't even know what AGOA is. It's like we're just switching sides right now. Now we're going with the UAE. Okay. So am I supposed to adopt now and embrace AGOA because it's with the, or not AGOA, a duty-free partnership because it's with the United Arab Emirates? The key thing here is education, training. So when you're talking about 7,000 Nigerian product lines, okay, this is my first time looking at this article, so I don't know what kind of product lines are we talking about. I know that is mostly non-oil exports. So what are the product lines? You see, we love to generalize when we are never specific. Let's see here. So over 7,000 product lines ranging from pharmaceuticals and chemicals to agricultural produce will be allowed into the UAE market duty free. We really want Nigerian businesses to take advantage of that, she said. How? Okay. Active Dodger, were you on yesterday's podcast? We talk about pharmaceuticals. Does Nigeria have a homegrown pharmaceutical company? I thought we were importing most of our pharmaceuticals from China. The majority of them are counterfeit, according to NAFDAC. Should probably check out NAFDAC's website and look at all of the banned and seized and restricted products. The majority of those pills and the Panadol and the, what do you call it, the aspirins coming from abroad, most of them are diluted and contaminated. You see, my issue here is I don't like generalization. I don't like ambiguity. I want specifics. Tell me the exact pharmaceuticals that you're talking about and the company that's making it. Tell me the exact chemicals that you're talking about and the company that makes it. Tell me the exact agricultural produce that you're talking about and the people who make them. Produce, I know that we are not talking about fresh produce because we are still largely incapable of exporting fresh produce because we don't have cold storage. We don't have temperature controlled silos. 7,000 product lines. Can you name one or two of those product lines? I'm not talking about categories. These are all categories. Pharmaceuticals is a category. Chemicals is a category. Agricultural produce is a category. What are we talking about here? Let me go ahead and laser focus on the agricultural side for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So we have cocoa. Let me single out cocoa, for example. Where's Nigerian chocolate? Oh yeah, UAE. Dubai is a city within UAE. Look up Dubai chocolate. One of the fastest selling chocolate brand in the world is Dubai chocolate. Where's Nigeria's version of Where's Nigeria's chocolate now with all of the cocoa that we have? We would rather export cocoa. We're probably exporting cocoa to Dubai to make Dubai chocolate and send it back to Nigeria. Probably sending cocoa. Okay. So this is the, you see, this is a Nigeria UAE deal. So more than likely, think about it for a second, guys. Follow the money. If Dubai chocolate is one of the top selling chocolate brands in the world, and Nigeria is one of the top cocoa producers in the world, cocoa is a primary ingredient in the making of chocolate. So you can kind of see cocoa being, hey, moving to duty free too. You're gonna see a lot of Nigeria. Oh, goodness gracious. So you know cocoa is going to be the number one non-oil agricultural product that Nigeria is going to send to Dubai. So Dubai can then process that cocoa to finished delicious Dubai chocolate that's selling like hotcakes in the United States of America and across the world. Let's start singling out these products one by one. Cocoa's one. What else? We really want Nigerian businesses to take advantage of the how now, Mrs. Jumoke Oduwole. How? Give us, you see, you can't just say you want. Show Nigerians how they can take advantage of that. You see, I didn't watch the segments. Maybe the correspondent asked her these questions. I didn't watch. She explained that the UAE was deliberately chosen as a strategic trade partner because of its global commercial importance and connectivity. So this kind of puts Nigeria in what? So Nigeria is the one now choosing UAE, or is the UAE choosing Nigeria? Who chose whom? Okay, what is the benefit? What are we? Okay, so we are sending pharmaceuticals and agricultural products to the United Arab Emirates. What's in it for us? Let's keep reading to see what's in it for Nigeria, fellas. So we negotiated this deal to enable Nigerian exporters to have a hub into the rest of the world with access to the Gulf. The UAE is about the 10th largest trading nation in the world. So this is a gateway, a hub that connects east to west and links into the global market. Mrs. Jumoke Oduwale, I don't understand. We were incapable of capitalizing on the AGOA between Niger and the number one economy in the world, the United States. And now we are dealing with the 10th. It makes no sense to me. I mean, we are going backwards. This is what they call hustling backwards. What is it with hustling backwards? Perhaps it's because the UAE they probably have maybe less stringent processes. Could it be? You see, this isn't clear, and this is what is the issue with Nigerian media. Thankfully, the internet exists to be able to platforms like this and other platforms out there to be able to explain how this whole thing works. So when you are talking about a hub, where is this hub, Mrs. Jumoke? Is there like a a Niger UAE hub that Nigerian exporters can go to? Or are we running this through the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC? Which organization does the UAE Niger partnership fall under? So I know if I'm looking for information on how to get my product, and also as far as like criteria goes, how do you select the exporters? How do you qualify exporters to be a part of this Nigeria UAE? Because you know what? I followed the AGOA agreement for 5 years and didn't see anything. Nothing happened. How is a UAE partnership any different? You see, having the president of Nigeria sitting alongside Abu Dhabi sustainability chief there, they didn't say his name, the photo that you see there doesn't change much. We negotiated the deal. So you're saying that I can bring, okay, so you see, guys, it's duty free, right? So it's a two-way street, ladies and gentlemen. This is a two-way street, meaning the UAE products can come into Nigeria duty free, and Nigerian products can go into UAE duty free. So if I am an importer in Nigeria, what are the products in UAE am I looking to import into Nigeria? We know we give them pharmaceuticals and agricultural products. Majority of that, I'm telling you, is going to be what? Cocoa. What else? Maybe sesame seed, because we don't really do much. There's really no value chain outside of exporting bagged sesame seeds to Nigeria. How many times have you seen Nigerian products, food products made from sesame seed that we can retail? Isn't it a shame that, isn't it a shame that one of the top cocoa producers in the world doesn't have its own national chocolates brand? Listen, we are trying to link east to west. So we're trying to link. We're trying to link the UAE to Nigeria market. But we had the opportunity to link the Nigeria US market through AGOA. Nigeria did not take advantage of it. Quite frankly, South Africa had more impact. Kenya and Ghana had more. They benefited more because they utilized it more. Have you ever been to a trade show in the United States? When was the last time you went to one and saw Nigeria represented? I'm going to another one in February, actually a month from now. Most likely Nigeria. You're not going to say Niger. But I'm not even talking about like Nigerian businesses. We're talking, we just want to see a Nigerian delegation. Nigeria needs a booth at these conferences and this Invest Niger booth. That's all. Invest Niger booth is all we need, and have a list of all of the resources that Nigeria has that we can trade with the world. Right now, it's mostly oil and gas. The $12.8 billion of non-oil exports that happened in 2025, to me, it's peanuts. Cocoa led it. Sesame seed led it. There was another product there on that I can't remember. Another thing, guys. So instead of forming these partnerships, this transatlantic, transnational partnerships, shouldn't the focus be on first and foremost improving the infrastructure within Nigeria? Helping Nigerian exporters understand, helping Nigerian exporters cultivate international standard produce. You see, this isn't going to work if we are still cultivating average poor quality products. The UAE is just going to roll up one day and say, I'm sorry, we can't do it. We can all bet that the UAE is going to come to the table with quality products for the Nigerian markets. But can we all bet that Nigeria can go to the table with quality Nigerian products for the UAE market? What non-oil exports or non-oil products are consumers in the United Arab Emirates consuming from Nigeria? What's the population of the UAE compared to the population of the largest global consumer market in the world, the United States of America? Listen, this is basically the same as AGOA, but on a smaller scale. Because UAE and US no be mates now. If you're forming a partnership, the CFA signing a document, shaking hands, and a photo up is one thing. Execution! Execution is another. How are we going to execute? How are we going to qualify? How are we going to qualify the businesses to be able to? Also, where is the list of this 7,000 qualifying products? Mrs. Jumoke didn't say where we can go and find that list. She did not. The minister added that the agreement also eases business mobility for Nigerians, allowing entrepreneurs to establish a physical presence in Mogbe. Physical presence in the UAE. What about physical presence in Nigeria first? When you say physical presence, what do you mean? Listen, I'm in the export space. How many physical? What do you mean by that? Physical presence abroad. I'm talking about Nigerian exporters. What does that mean? You see, they should bring Richard Barricat on these shows now, so I can expand and make them see what I see. Because I'm in this space. So is it as if Nigerians are going to open up a shop? When you say physical presence, what do you mean by that? This makes no sense, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I just don't see it. I can't imagine it. I can't. Physical presence in the UAE Nigerian exporters with physical presence in the UAE, in what capacity? Physical presence in the UAE, in a processing capacity, warehousing capacity, like in what capacity is not explained. Do average Nigerians even read these things? The UAE is one of the melting points of the world. Nigerian businesses will be able to open off. Oh! Nigerian businesses will be able to open offices and subsidiaries while business owners can stay in the UAE for up to 3 months within a 12-month period. Is this not exporting Nigerian know-how? And then, she said Nigeria would deepen its export footprints in sectors where it is competitive. Where now? Which sectors is Nigeria competitive in other than oil? You can't say we are competitive in cocoa because Ghana has that market. Cote d'Ivoire has that market. Maybe we are competitive in sesame. I can see Nigeria having a leverage in the sesame seed space. What else? Let me finish that sentence. So she said Nigeria would deepen its export footprints in sectors where it is competitive, using the UAE both as a destination market and a launch pad to other regions. Why do you need to go to the UAE first to launch to other markets? Why can't we launch directly from Nigeria? Nigeria is a coastal nation. It's not landlocked like Botswana and all those other landlocked country. Nigeria is a coastal nation. We are blessed to be coastal on the Atlantic Ocean. So then why then? It's like saying I gotta drive from Lagos to Abuja to then fly to London. Why can't I just fly from Lagos to London? Why do I have to drive to Abuja? None of this makes sense. Okay, let me just give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say these so-called exporters, how many of them are really positioned to have an office in Nigeria and also have an office in the UAE where they can then launch pad from UAE to the US market? You see, the US is the destination. Don't let anybody lie to you. So then why can't you just start with the destination nation? If the United States is the ultimate destination, a nation that provides 30% of the global GDP, $30 trillion is what the United States generates in products and services every year. That is the final destination. Don't let anybody lie to you. Why do we need to go to the UAE to then come to the US or go to the UAE to then go to the UK when we can go direct? This is what I'm talking about, nation development. If Nigeria is developed, it will be UAE that will be coming to. You don't hear UAE talking about, oh, we're going to come to Nigeria and launch from Nigeria. Is Nigeria saying they want to go to you? It's always Nigeria going somewhere else. Do you know why Nigeria has to go to the UAE and use the UAE as a launch pad? Because the UAE has developed an enabling environment. That is why. Until we create our own and until we develop our own, we are always going to be at the mercy. What if UAE tomorrow wakes up and shuts off the lights? Do we not see the value in our own nation? So what have been exciting to me is saying We are going to develop the hub in Nigeria. And we're going to bring people in the UAE to use Nigeria as a hub to penetrate the African continent or the sub-Saharan African markets. I'm always going to be pro Africa development, pro Niger development. This deal sounds more to me like Nigeria going and developing UAE rather than the UAE coming and developing Nigeria. That's what this deal sounds like to me. What does it sound like to you? Oduwole also has also said the agreement would attract UAE investments into Nigeria, particularly in infrastructure and industrial development. Just saying, now you have my attention. What specific infrastructure and industrial development? You see, I want, and I know these guys don't really have a lot of real estate to be able to say these things. But I'm poking at when you say infrastructure and industrial, what are we talking about? We want investment in infra. Okay, I get that. What specific infrastructure? So is it energy? We need to be more specific in these things because that's the number one issue. Energy is a crippler. So when we say infrastructure going forward, I want us to be more specific. Are we talking energy? Are we talking data centers? Are we talking artificial intelligence research? Let's be more specific. Are we talking about medieval warehouses? You see, a warehouse is an infrastructure, isn't it? But that's medieval. Why are we talking about a warehouse? Or maybe the development of an infrastructure that allows us to be able to export produce, fresh produce out of the country. See, cold storage. CJ said it yesterday. That could help. We want investment in infrastructure and in many areas where we have gaps. UAE capital. Okay. So for us, it looks like we need the money. We need the money. UAE capital will come into these gaps. Of course, they will make good money. But more than that, when they are looking for a hub to access the rest of Africa, they will base those investments in Nigeria and use Nigeria as a hub to export to the. I did I not say that? See, that's what gets me excited. But Nigeria doesn't need to have a hub in the UAE to reach the rest of the world when we can do it directly. You see, now this is a good signal. Now, that capital, is it a loan? I mean, what is it? It's not free now. She added that Nigeria would also import machinery and equipment required to support industrialization. So we are importing machinery from the UAE. I thought UAE was mostly oil. The machinery and equipment, isn't that more of a Chinese play? The minister further disclosed that Nigerian entrepreneurs can begin exporting immediately under the agreement, while other provisions will be phased in over 3 to 5 year period. But where do we go? Where? You didn't say, Minister Olujumoke. There's no website. There's no microsite for this. It's a nice picture of a guy selling tomatoes. Fresh Nigerian tomatoes, man. Satin, bro. Beyond the UAE deal, Oduwole highlighted Nigeria's wider export expansion strategy across Africa and know that they're doing something within the African, sub-Saharan African market. Just last year, we opened an air cargo corridor in partnership with Ugandan Airlines. We mapped 13 Eastern and Southern African countries and identified the goods they want from Nigeria. She listed products such as processed foods, beverages, and fashion items as being in high demand. They want our light manufacturing goods, snacks, zobo, plantain chips, and they want our apparel, the clothes and fashion Nigerian businesses are known for. I can see the Nigerian snacks, to be quite frank with you guys, is underrated. High potential in the United States. You don't need the UAE for this now. Nigerian chin chin. If you are a Nigerian chin chin manufacturer, there's a market for you in the United States. If you're a Nigerian plantain chips maker, there's a market for you in the United States. Kokoro maker, there's a market. You know those snacks that we grew up consuming as kids in Nigeria, there's a market for that in the US. So I don't really see why they need the UAE for this. Let me tell you what they need the UAE for. They need the UAE for the capital. Because the United States is not going to give Nigeria money now. That's really what this is about. Money from the UAE under the pretense of export partnerships. All this stuff that's mentioned, the Nigerian apparel, snacks, manufactured goods, these are all spaces that we're in. High demand for it in the United States. I don't know about the Zobo though. The Zobo drink, that's going to be hard. That's not going to pass FDA, US FDA. It's not. The African market is hungry and thirsty for our goods and are facilitating export access for Nigerians across the country. Meanwhile, Nigeria and the UAE signed a trade agreement on Tuesday at the 2026 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also announced that Nigeria will host Investopia with the UAE in Lagos in February. That is what just that's just next month now. That's next month. It's really interesting how they are always announcing this partnerships so close to a normal partnership like this. Give Nigerians a room to be able to attend, maybe 6 months out, 8 months out. You can't just want to partner with Investopia and it's next month. People like me, I'm not going to be able to have the time to be able to attend. We need a little bit more breathing room. Let's look at Investopia because I'm not really sure about this event. Let's look at Investopia. Investopia Nigeria and see what that's about. Is there a website? There it is right there. It's a website. Okay, so it's hosting the Lagos Investopia on the 2nd of February, empowering global investment in new economics. Investopia is advancing global prosperity by cultivating a dynamic investment ecosystem focused on new economies. We convene the world's most influential stakeholders to explore the key trends shaping the global economy, unlock investment opportunities, drive collaboration, and build a foundation for a brighter future. So 13,000 people are expected in attendance, 70 plus countries represented, 4 flagship editions, and 22 global editions. Oh, they're going to be in Davos. Davos is happening next week, guys. Oh, it's actually in 2 days. Davos is happening in 2 days. That's nice. That's nice. Let's look at Investoria Lagos upcoming events. Nothing to click here. Let's register your interest. Let's see what that's about. Look at that. A co-convention center, ladies and gentlemen, in partnership with Sky Capital. So Investopia Nigeria refers to Nigeria's participation in the conference, a major global investment platform and summit originally launched in the UAE, brings together investors, policymakers, business deals. So it kind of reminds me of what Davos is the World Economic Forum happening in Davos. This is about. It reminds me of that. Let me show you guys Davos for a second. We forum. So this is Davos, pretty much similar to what they are doing in Nigeria, Investopia is doing in Nigeria, but on a more global stage. So let's go back to this. This is held at the Eco Convention Center. This is nice. Okay. How many days is this? So it's only a day? Just one day? Arrival from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Opening remarks, a strategic partnership growth, deepening UAE, Nigeria. Okay, okay. So you see all the link now. Jumoke is going to be there as a speaker. Aduwale Jumoke is going to be there as a speaker. So you guys kind of see the link now, right? I think that's the same day they're going to sign the MOU with Nigeria. Infrastructure and logistics for Africa's next phase of trade. Coffee break, financing, Africa's energy transition, capital at scale, launch, roundtable. So this is basically just a single day event. Who are the partners that are with this? Chartered African Bank. So these are all partners. Do they have a, can you live stream this? Let's look on the agenda. It's going to link to, you can live stream this. If so, I wouldn't mind watching. But yeah, I would have anticipated this being more than just one day. Just to have a one day event like that is odd. So you can see here they are also going to the Investopia is going to the World Economic Forum in Davos. Something you might consider following, guys. So let's go back to this. Okay, so you guys starting to see the link, right? So Nigeria is going to help support that project. But yeah, the UAE-Nigeria partnership to me, I don't know, I think it favors UAE more than it favors Nigeria. It will be interesting to see where Nigeria deploys the capital that they are expecting from the United Arab Emirates on this deal. But also, what we'd also like to see is where is the launching pad for this UAE Nigeria partnership where exporters can go? They didn't show that. So this is all kind of lip service to me. This kind of see we see all things like this all the time happening in Nigeria with MOUs being signed, partnership announcements. But who are they tailoring this to? They are tailoring this to the common exporter. They're not looking at this is not for like the Dangotes. Those guys, they have their own export chain and export mechanics. This is tailored more to smallholder, small, medium-sized enterprise exporters. But there's no link, there's no microsite where you can go to get all of the information to be able to see if you qualify as an exporter. What are the requirements? What are the baseline requirements? That information is not provided. Maybe they'll share more though at the when the deal is officially signed. I think it's going to be signed on the 2nd of February in Lagos at the Investopia conference. So let's I want to look at get off my screen, man. I want to look at what's happening. Let's look at this. Show me the money. I'm more of a deals person. Like I told you, I like to be able to see deals. Who's buying whom? What's happening? Boston Scientific just is about to buy Penumbra for $15 billion in cash. We talked about Walmart International CEO. Whoa, that guy, McClay, is looking to leave. Oh, it says here, Humble Hershey's gets a marketing makeover. But let's go. I want to look at deals. Let's see what's all under deals. Transactions, mergers and acquisitions. I love it. See who's buying home, see what pops out to me. Trans DGM to buy Jet Parts Engineering, Victor Sierra Aviation for $2.2 billion. It's just in from the Wall Street Journal, guys. The two businesses generated about 280 million in combined revenue in 2025. Let's see. So the group agreed to acquire Jet Parts Engineering and Victor Sierra Aviation Holdings from private equity firm Van Street Capital for about 2.2 billion in cash, including certain tax benefits. Expanding the aircraft components maker exposure to the commercial aerospace markets. The capital is going. Why did they buy them? Manufactures parts and repair solutions for commercial, regional, and cargo airline customers, as well as for maintenance, repair, and overhaul providers. The company derives nearly all of its revenue from the commercial aftermarket, and it employs about 300 people, according to TransGDM. Guys, if you really want to learn about where global capital, or even more specific, US capital is going, get into reading the deals, transactions page of business publishers like the Wall Street Journal. Let's go back and see. I read this one yesterday. This is Diana Shipping. Let's look at Boston Scientific. I like companies buying companies. You don't really see a lot of this in Nigeria, though, with Nigerian companies buying each other. So Boston Scientific just bought, is going to buy Penumbra for $15 billion in cash and stocks. They're hoping to bolster their cardiovascular portfolio. Okay. The deal carries an enterprise value of around $14.5 billion minus Penumbra's roughly 470 million net cash and short-term investments. So the deal is slated to close later this year. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. Boston Scientific said the acquisition offers an opportunity to enter new, fast-growing segments within the vascular space, noting that Penumbra's portfolio includes devices to treat conditions such as pulmonary embolism, stroke, deep vein thrombosis, acute limb ischemia, heart attack, and aneurysms. At the bottom here too, it says Boston Scientific earlier this week said it would buy Valencia Technologies, a medical technology company focused on treatments of bladder dysfunction for an undisclosed amount. I love it, man. I can sit all day and read articles based on deals. Let's see what else I want to share with you guys. Let's just go on the business page quickly and see what's up. CMO today, that's the Chief Marketing Officer today. Beyond Meats test protein beverages in bid for much needed growth. I want to see what the packaging is for Hershey's. What's this about? I know they haven't touched their packaging in a while. Also part of the CMO today segment of the Wall Street Journal. So the chocolate brand will increase advertising spending and embrace TikTok influencers. Hershey wants its 131-year-old workhorse chocolate brand to work a little harder. The candy and snacks maker, whose portfolio also includes famous names like Reese's and Tweezers, has increased its marketing budget for Hershey's by 20% to fund the brand's first new advertising campaign in 8 years. It's a long time. I noticed yesterday when I went to the grocery store here that Kroger's is also rebranding everything from milk bottles to creamer. A lot of these guys are starting to I guess, give their marketing and branding a makeover. So Hershey's is going to spend $600 million total on advertising expenses. Oh, sorry, that's what they spent. 600 million in 2024. So they're going to use both traditional and streaming TV, but also marketing channels where Hershey's has less experience, such as influencer campaigns on TikTok, live events, and activity around big cultural moments. Like this year's Winter Olympics in America 250 celebrations. Man, the Olympics is going to be a banger. The World Cup, US, man, the US economy is going to be major in 2026. We also have what the US is turning 250 years old, July 4th. This year is shaping up to be a very important year and where capital moves. So the advertising push is set to begin next week. Let's see what's happening on the homepage of the WSJ. So you guys know about the Greenland situation. What do you guys think about the Greenland matter? Do you think the United States ends up owning Greenland? There's a battle for that right now. Trump really wants Greenland. He wants Greenland bad. But then the Greenlanders don't want, I think they polled like only 6% of the Greenlanders don't want to be in the United States. And guess what they are offering? There are 56,000 Greenlanders in Greenland, and the United States is offering each one of them $500,000 in cash to sign on the dotted lines to be governed by the USA. Up that to 1 million and see what happens. See how many people will say no. Up it to 1 million. Oh, why Greenland matters. This is, yeah. So, I mean, I pay $40 a month to subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. I mean, I read this thing like a religion every single day to keep up to date on what's happening in the business markets and enterprise world. Top module for me on the WSJ is the um, business module, followed by technology, and then I usually end with the home page. As you can see here, my bookmark is bookmarked to the business page. So every day I come in here and I read at least minimum of three articles a day on the Wall Street Journal every single day. So we kind of keep track of what's going on in the world. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got to run for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I've given you guys enough content for you guys to binge upon over the weekend. And yeah, I will catch you guys next week. I'll catch you guys next week. Love talking about this today. Can't wait to talk more next week. And hopefully, you guys will be comfortable enough to start joining the live chat talking about enterprise US-Nigeria markets. Thank you all for your time and hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I will see you live on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Richard Barrett out.